In the kit, you'll find an instruction sheet going over all the steps that we'll cover in this presentation, along with every piece of heat shrink and header tie wraps that you will need in order to do the termination. To perform the termination correctly, you will need the following tools: a knife or cable stripper, a torch or cigarette lighter, a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver, a pair of side cutters, a 2.5 millimeter flathead screwdriver, a pair of wire strippers, a Sharpie, wire labels. Before terminating, double check that the wire installed has been labeled as Belden 9729 or an approved substitute. Now let's move on to terminating the wire. After verifying that the wire is Belden 9729 or an approved ETC substitute, transfer any wire markings the electricians may have made on the end of the wire to a wire label, in this case D2, Dmx2, that will live inside of the back box. Then using a knife or a wire stripper, about 2 inches outside of the box, score the outer jacket, being careful not to nick the cable pairs inside of the jacket. Trim the wire length to about 8 inches, so you're going to have something to hold on to once you've stripped the outer jacket off. And remove the outer PVC jacket. At this point, we want to remove the foil from each twisted pair, leaving approximately 1/4 inch of foil beyond the outer PVC jacket. Unbraid the shield wire from the colored pair. Folding the colored pair back out of your way. Pull on the shield to straighten as many kinks out as possible. Makes it a lot easier to put the heat shrink down over the shield. Taking a piece of the clear 16-inch shield shrink, place it over the shield wire. Then using either a torch or a cigarette lighter, heat the shrink tightly down over the shield. After the heat shrink is down tight on the shield, wrap it back into the pair that it came from. Make sure you don't swap shield wires from one pair to the other. Twisting slightly to maintain the twist in your data wire. Now take 2 pieces of the 3/16 by 1.5 inch black heat shrink, capture the shield wire and both of the colored wires underneath the heat shrink, catching the foil at the bottom of the twist. 1 piece of shrink for each colored data pair. Take the 1/2 inch by 2 inch piece of black heat shrink, slide it down over both data pairs, back onto the gray PVC jacket so that half of the black heat shrink is over the 3/16 inch shrink and the other half is black over the gray jacket. Using your lighter or torch, shrink down the 3/16 and the 1/2 inch shrink at the same time. The white-black pair is a spare or extra pair used in case of damage to the primary red-black data pair or for additional wiring in an out and back situation. You can trim off anything outside of the heat shrink. Now use the 1" by 3/16" shrink to cap off this extra data pair. Using a tie wrap, fold back the extra data pair and tie it to the cable. Trimming off the extra piece of the tie wrap. With two data cables landing under a header, we want to twist the wires together. So trim your cables to the same length and strip back about 3/4 of an inch off of each shield, data plus, and data minus wire. Twist the two shield wires together, the two black wires together, and the two red wires together. Trim those wires to approximately 3/16 of an inch. Then land them in the header, with the shield wire going to pin 1, black or data minus to pin 2, red data plus to pin 3. Tug on each one of the wires to make sure that they've landed properly on the header, that there are no stray hairs of the wire going from connector to connector to cause a short. Take another tie wrap, back off about 1 inch from the header, and capture all the wires under the tie wrap. Land the header on the station. It doesn't matter whether you go to the top or the bottom connector. The header will only fit one way into the connector. Tuck all the wires back inside the back box. Screw down the plate. And your Dmx termination is complete.